everybody. Happy Valentine's Day in advance. Yes, that's why I'm in red. In a few days' time, it will be Valentine's Day. And my prayer for you is that you find love, true love. And the season is what is coloring our episode this week, in which we want to focus on tough love at the workplace. Yes, tough love at the workplace. I believe you are beginning to get some ideas in your mind. Wait a minute for me, and I'll come to the details of what we're talking about. But if you've been here over the last couple of weeks, you know that we've been speaking about leading at the workplace. And the last two videos focused on the stages of team formation and the roles of the leader, the different roles of the leader at the different stages of the team formation. Now, before I get into the details of this week's episode, what's driving it really is the fact that if you watch the last two videos, there is a tendency for you to think that one, the moving from one state to the other is a finite steps where when you leave stage one, you go to two, and when you leave two, you go to three, and that everything is smooth sailing, it's a walk in the park. No, that's not correct. So the first clarification I want to do this week is the fact that when it comes to team formation, the team can oscillate between different levels, meaning that a performing team may all of a sudden find itself back in the storming phase. Maybe because there is a new member joining, an old member leaving, or a change of location, or a change of roles in the same team. Sometimes you find that you have to go back to storming and then numb before you get back to performing. All right? And more importantly, even when you are at the performing stage, it is not just to hit that stage and everything is you live happily ever after. No, it does not work like that. There is a role, a very important role that the leader needs to play for a performing team in particular, and that is the role of the disciplinarian. And that is why this week, when we speak about tough love at the workplace, we are speaking about just one thing, and that is discipline. How do you maintain discipline in the workplace? We are in the season of Valentine, and you find out that most of the emotions you find here are the mushy feelings, exchanging cards, exchanging cakes, exchanging gifts. That's good. But as a leader, there is one invaluable gift you owe to your team, and that is to ensure that whatever norm has been agreed, whatever standard has been signed up for by the team, whatever work ethic, whatever work behavior that is good for your staff, that will help them to achieve their full potential, that will help their talent to completely blossom. You owe it a duty to do whatever it takes to make that happen. What I'm saying in essence is a team, as you already know, is made up of individuals from different backgrounds. Yeah? And from that different background, what you find is that they carry different baggages. As an example, if you have somebody like me in your team, get ready once you say something is the law. I will push the boundary, I will test the laws. Because for me, I am just in, and my wiring is why and why not. And on the other end of the scale, you can find somebody who just refuses to think and checks. Once you say this is the norm, this is the law, that individual runs with it, asks no question. Even when the variables have changed, they continue to do it the same way simply because this is the norm. And in between, you have different combinations. Now you carry all those different people, whether they were hired for you or you hired them or you deliberately selected them to join your team. You have them in a team, and then you want everything to just be smooth sailing on its own. It doesn't work like that. So what is expected of you? What is expected of you is that you need to maintain the discipline of that team. And that really is tough love. Because sometimes he may make you cock your gun and trail it on your best staff and let him or her know that if he or she does not behave, he or she is out of the team. He can even be out of the organization. Sometimes it comes very tough. I mean, imagine parents at home with their children. A child that is left to him or herself or to his or her device ends up being irresponsible either to him or herself or even to the society. And it's exactly the same thing that happens at the workplace. Imagine you have a colleague who is very brilliant, very smart, does very good job, but is always late. Now, what do you want to do? If you keep pampering him or her simply because at least when he does it or when she does it, he or she does it well, you are not helping them. How many times have I seen in my journey where somebody is about to be fired, about to be laid off, and their first reaction is shock. I've never received any query from this boss. He or she has never complained about anything about me. Even though in their heart they know that they carry these baggages, like the Yoruba proverb goes that the person doing a bad thing knows, it's just that he's looking for somebody who can confront him with it. And then they begin to play the ignorant. Now, if you are the boss, you are also not completely guiltless. And to save that person and save yourself is the reason why tough love, which is discipline, is required at the workplace. Now, what happens when you are strong enough to give tough love? You will be helping the team. Why? Because when you help the individual to move along and comply with the good work ethics and whatever the team has agreed to, the overall productivity of the team will improve. 2, you will be helping the individual because everybody is like raw gold. It requires the heat, it requires the polish, it requires the push for their full capacity to come out. When you give them tough love, you are nudging them and pushing them forward such that they can go from good to better, from better to best, from best to near perfection. And in my journey, I can look back today and remember those bosses that are giving me tough love. Those that I remember my boss, I've spoken about him before. His name is Russian Bastille. From little things like when you want to give him a document that has more than one page, if you are not careful to make sure that the edges align, when he collects it from you, the way he's going to look at you, you will wonder exactly whether you have committed murder. He will then, in your presence, tear it open, arrange it, and staple it together. And what happens next time if you are somebody who is interested in quality? You make sure you check before you bring it for him. Same for any report I used to give him in those days. If you don't sit down and check all the numbers and make sure they all tie up, you will look like a fool when you get before him. This relationship I'm telling you about is almost 15 years now. The lessons I learned then have been very useful all through my journey, and those I have had the privilege of leading have also enjoyed the benefit. So, when it comes to the point of tough love, you need to have the courage to do it as the leader. Because if you don't do it, like I said, you are damaging the team, you are damaging the individual, and the last person you are damaging is yourself. Because eventually, that person will move away from you. And if they then get into trouble because they did not learn the right things at the right time, when they look back, they may never come out and accuse you, but in their mind they will know that if this man had been strong enough, maybe I would not be here at this time. So, it's Valentine's season. What is the message for you, Mr. Leader? Can you please look around and find that young man, that young lady around you that deserves your tough love this season? Call them into a performance evaluation session. It does not have to even be in the regular circle. Let that be the Valentine gift you will give somebody at work this season. Give them a frank, honest feedback. And if it is not even within your performance cycle, the better. So they are not hearing it like I'm going to score 0, or I'm going to be put on probation, or I'm going to be fired. They can hear it in the mood of the season, in the mood of the beginning of the year, so that if they really are serious about making a success of their own career, they can do something about it. And that is where I'm going to end it this week. But before I end, let me say these two things to you. Number one, next week, we will then go to the section where we will say, how do you really practice this tough love? What do you need to do such that if you have to give a honest and frank feedback, it does not get colored, it doesn't become a point of animosity and hatred. We will teach you the process of doing that. Secondly, we will then be talking about something else that happens during the team formation stage before we will rest this series. I have a special content and extra content to share this week. If you have not subscribed to this channel, you need to do it because you are missing something. And if you check in the last few weeks, there is an announcement video of a Telegram group where extra content is also shared, and we have active conversation as relating to different subjects. I recommend you sign up to that channel so that all the extra conversations and debriefing that happens there, you too can get it. And as you subscribe to the YouTube channel and you subscribe to the Telegram channel, the extra content that I share regularly to supplement the content of the week, you too will get it. And of course, you know somebody who needs to know about it, please feel free to share this with them. And your comments and your feedback are highly welcome. The last episode, there was a lot of comments. Thank you very much to all those that provided those feedback. Please keep them coming. It helps us and it encourages us knowing that someone out there is listening to what we're saying, and like we always said, we are making our little difference. Once again, T-Mac is my name, D-Lie is this channel. Make it a date next week as we continue the conversation. But whatever you do, every time you remember, never forget that all I'm trying to do is what? Make a little difference. Thanks for being here this week, and see you next week. Bye.